Mr. K.G.Baburaj is the chairman and managing director of BKG Holding, the umbrella company of businesses he has set up within the GCC. He is the only Indian member of the US-based International Accreditation Service, which is tasked to calibrate and test laboratories around the world. With a career spanning more than 40 years, Mr. Baburajan has been part of countless major projects worldwide. He was a part of many prestigious projects like the Bahrain Saudi Causeway, the Airport Terminal Modernization, Shaikh Khalifa Port, Almoayyed Tower, Sitra Bridge, to name a few, and has also done projects for distinguished companies like Alba, Asri, Babco, and the Ritz-Carlton Bahrain. Apart from business, Mr. Baburajan is also in the forefront of humanitarian causes. He has started social projects that have covered housing, education, and assistance to the needy and poor in India and Bahrain. Mr. Baburajan is also a patron of India's varied cultural and sporting events. Mr. Baburajan has won multiple Business Excellence Awards. Bahrain Kerala Samajam has a hall dedicated under his name for his services. And most recently, the winner of the prestigious Pravasi Bharatiya Award, which is the highest honor given to an Indian expat by their government.
This is Bahrain This week, and today we'll be speaking with Mr. K.G.Baburaj. Hello, sir. How are you?
I'm very well. Thank you very much.
Okay, so, sir, you have played a major part in shaping the infrastructure of the Kingdom of Bahrain. When did you start, and why did you remain in Bahrain?
I was in Saudi Arabia, joined Saudi Arabia end of 1979, and moved over to Bahrain middle of 1980 to be part of the team for the construction of the Saudi-Bahrain Causeway. So ever since, I am based in Bahrain. Based in Bahrain, and have been associated with major projects since then.
You have more than 3 decades of expertise in the field of foundation design and piling. Can you mention the significance of this field in the development of a country?
As you will be knowing, foundation is the most important component of any civil or any engineering structure. Because what has to happen is the total load of the building or the infrastructure like bridges or flyovers or port or whatever, that has to be transferred to the ground through foundation. So it can be any of the type of foundation like shallow foundation or deep foundation like pile foundations, all the different ways of doing that. So you can say that the foundation is the basis of developments of any country in the civil or engineering structures.
Okay. You said that you started in the Saudi-Bahrain Causeway, and then after that you have continued to be part of major projects within the country, like the Shaikh Khalifa Port, the Airport Terminal Modernization, Shaikh Isa Bridge, the Sitra Bridge, and multiple companies like Alba, Babco, and the Ritz-Carlton. What is the most challenging one for you?
Of course, the most challenging was Saudi-Bahrain Causeway because I started as a junior engineer with that. And to be part of such a major project is a challenging task. That too, with all the major, you can say that the project was handled by very well-reputed multinational companies like Bellasnudem from Holland, who was the main contractor, and the consultant was from Denmark, Saudi-Danish consultant. So naturally, that is the most challenging, I would say.
Or what about the most satisfying or memorable project for you?
Again, coming back to that, obviously that being the major project, which is that is one of the most challenging work. But that doesn't mean that the other projects are not challenging. So I would say that almost all the projects, whether it is small or big or medium or whatever, it is always challenging project.
Okay.
And during this 40 years, obviously I have been involved with most of the major projects in Bahrain, like the first one is Shaikh Isa Bridges, then Shaikh Khalifa Bridges, then Sitra Bridges, then going back to the civil structures like Almoayyed Tower, then Financial Harbour, World Trade Center, Lulu Abraj, the towers, City Center, Seaf Mall, Seaf flyovers. Then going to the industrial side, you will say that, Alba, Port Line 3 onwards to 3, 4, 5, 6, and then Babco modernization project, then power stations like in Addur, Hid power stations. Most of the power stations which was constructed since 1980, late 80s onward, that is again. And then of course, the other challenging is the Shaikh Khalifa Port, the development and associated reclamation work. Then in Bahrain International Airport, the first phase of development, and then the latest one which is going to be inaugurated this month, 28th, which is the modernization, that new terminal building. So all this, as part of the initial team to do the site investigation and recommendation for the foundations, I have been involved. So I would say that almost all the projects, I have the opportunity to work on that. And then naturally, I would say that is, I have contributed to the development of Bahrain in that way.
Yes. So a lot of people certainly support you because you've received multiple business excellence awards, and you even have a hall dedicated to you in the Bahrain Keraliya Samajam. And most recent is the prestigious Pravasi Bharatiya Award that you just received this month. Out of all this, which is your most cherished achievement?
I mean, the most cherished, of course, is the Pravasi Bharatiya Award, which is the highest award that is given to NRI or non-resident Indian by the central government of India, which is being normally distributed by the President of India. So there is no question that is the most important one. Yes.
Okay. COVID-19 has been a major factor in world economy last year and going forward this year. Like, how has your business adapted through it?
Yes, as you'll be knowing, this is a major challenge which is being faced by the whole world. There isn't anybody on earth who is not being affected, from the President of USA down to the people on the street, you can say. For COVID, obviously, there is no discrimination. That teaches us the lesson for unity as well, there is, without any discrimination. But in the meantime, I would say that there were a lot of advantages of that, especially the environment, I would say. The water is getting more cleaner, the air is getting more purified, the people have a different way of doing the job without traveling much, doing from the house. So naturally the air pollution, the usage of these vehicles which added to the carbon monoxide content of the air, those sort of things. Having said that, the population, of course, is affected so much. A lot of people has lost their job, a lot of them. And it is very difficult for families to support even for the food or clothing or the accommodation. So all the basic necessities were deprived for a lot of people. But coming back to Bahrain, I would say that the government has, the rulers, the royal family and the government have done a great job in this particular aspect to support the people of Bahrain so that they were least affected by the epidemic. So it is a pandemic, put it that way. what they have done, even as business people, we have been paid the salaries of the Bahraini nationals or for a lot of occasions, and then lot of government fees were waived. So these are all for supporting the industry, which we have to appreciate the government very well. And coming back to the other side of it, obviously the projects and all, lot of projects were slowed down, and the market conditions, especially if you look at the hotel industry, travel industry, other associate lot of tourism-oriented projects, they were affected very heavily. And lot of people, they lost their job, irrespective of nationals or expats or whoever. But the government has done their very best to support those people, and I'm quite sure we are all coming out of these situations with their support. Then coming to the medical side of it, I would say that the entire health care people, they have done with their best to safeguard, to give proper treatment to almost all the all who is required to be, without any discrimination, whether nationals or expats, treated everybody equally. So we are very fortunate to be here with the help of the government, and I would say that that is very unique situation. I thanks everybody for that particular aspects.
Okay, so aside from business, what else have you been doing for the social commitment?
I mean, ever since I was young, social commitment was one of the things which obviously I would like to, which I was doing, put it that my grandfather's time onwards. So after coming back to Middle East, obviously I continue the same things, wherever we can, we should help the unfortunate ones, whether financially, because helping means that it doesn't mean that it's finance alone. There are a lot of other things or other ways you can help the society. That is the whole purpose of course, as I said, there are a lot of unfortunate ones who even cannot have the proper food itself, basic necessities. So since we are fortunate, why can't we share that with the others who, I don't mean that, we can do the whole support everybody, but, a lot of people, if they put their hand together, it will be a very good support for the underprivileged people. That is what I would say. In coming back to that, obviously, I have been, wherever possible, of course, I have been involved with the social commitments, even for the Bahrain Kerala Samajam. I have contributed to the construction of the main building, which is accommodating around 2,000 people, and then I have dedicated one of the hall under my name, for which obviously the society can use. But it's then a lot of building the houses for some of the poor people, not in India also. I have been doing that. Then coming back to, it is not limited to the Indians alone. I have been doing that for the Bahraini, lot of Bahrainis, who even for treatment to Bombay or other places overseas, they come wherever possible. I support. Similarly, the charity organizations, they always come, and we try to do whatever best we can do, because a social commitment should go along with our business and developments, because that is very important. I would say that, because other than only we can bring the society also up to a certain level. Exactly. So in that I take it as a part of my involvement, you can say, social commitment and charity work.
you did mention that all of them were like very challenging. So what's your philosophy that sustained you throughout your life and through this long career?
I mean, any project, whether it is, as I said, small, medium, or large, we have to treat it as equally because it's equally important to the client. So naturally, our service to the client or to the industry is very important, and we have to do it in a more responsible, dedicated, and careful and realistic way. That's the most important thing.
Who are your greatest supporters?
Supporters, of course, first I would say that the government of Bahrain and the rulers of Bahrain, they are, supporting us very much. And then all the other clients, whether it is small or big, they are all our supporters. Without their support, we cannot be at this level. Yes.
So every one of them.
That's right.
Have supported you. In
Yes,
some way.
yes, that's right.
Okay. Could you tell us about your family?
Yes, I was born in a village in Kerala, which is called Kuttur, which is in Tiruvalla. So I had my base. My father is K.G.Baburaj, mother is K.K. Bharati. The father, he is no more. So I did my schooling in my village and in nearby area, and then moved to Trivandrum, where I spent most of the time with my maternal uncle K.K. Gopalan and auntie V. Vishalakshi. Both of them are no more. So that is the parental side, I would say. And then coming back to my wife, Dilrani Gowal, she is an architect from Trivandrum Engineering College again. By the way, I did my college from intermediate college, which was changed to Government Arts College in 1970. And then did my first degree in chemistry from University College Trivandrum, and then my engineering degree from College of Engineering Trivandrum. So my wife, she did her architecture from Trivandrum Engineering College, and I have two children. My son, K.G.Baburaj, he did his engineering in civil engineering and took his master's from geotechnical from Birmingham University, UK. And he is actively involved our business in Qatar. And then my daughter, Ramya Baburaj, she did her MBBS and MD from Ramachandra Madras, Porur, and she was working in Apollo Hospital in the oncology department. She is now in Dubai with her husband also. My daughter-in-law is Dr. Aishwarya. She's born and brought up in Bombay, and she did her MBBS. Now she's pursuing with her MD in dermatology in Chennai. And I have a granddaughter, Ira Baburaj. She is going to be 3 years in April. And my son-in-law is a doctor again. He's a pediatrician. He works in Dubai, neonatal services. And I am expecting my two grandsons very soon.
Congratulations.
That is the family.
Okay, so it's been a very long career, but you're showing no sign of stopping. So what's next in your vision?
No, next in vision, of course, we have established my main field is the quality control and site investigation or geotechnical, and we do have a piling company as well, which undertakes the pile foundations. So I have, as I said, in almost all the projects, not almost all, but majority of the projects, we have done the construction of the foundation also, the pile foundation mainly, and then ground improvement and go for shallow foundations depending on the type of soil and the load which is coming from the structure. So naturally, that is there, and Of course, I will be continuing. In the meantime, I am planning to have a full setup in my home country, so I can train some of the engineers in the same field where this sort of, quality control, quality assurance, and other construction activities are not entirely to the satisfactory level, because we do have some problems. Even there is a bridge in Cochin, which is called Palarivattam, that had to be demolished after 1 year of construction, where the bridges are designed for hundreds of years of life. So naturally that shows we are not taking care of the quality or construction aspect in a proper way. That has to be done so that the entire life of the structure will be there. But in this part of the world, especially GCC, we have never come across such a situation where we had to demolish a bridge, not even, forget 1 year, not even within the 10 years. So naturally, this sort of environment and the quality system has to be implemented there, so we don't end up with this sort of situation in India as well. So that is something which I would like to start in there and see how we can train the new coming engineers in this field so they are more aware about what is to be done. Of course, for that, supports of government, both central and state government, is very vital.
So as a last question, you mentioned earlier that all the supporters, whether big or small, have helped you. So do you have any message to all your supporters?
I mean, basically what I'm saying is, for the development of the Bahrain, I mean, we, of course, as Spats has contributed a lot, but equally or more, the local, population, when I say population, the, lot of educated engineers and other technical, medical people, they are coming forward and they have been here in the forefront. So naturally, the whole country's development mainly depends on the youth of that country, which we can see, for the past 40 years I have been here, I have seen that. So I can see that majority of them, they are coming forward to build this nation to the level. So naturally, that is very positive way of doing any country, basically, especially the youth of the present and the earlier one. So you can see that is going very well in this particular part. And naturally, the government is supporting, encouraging them to come forward and be part of this development, so they can be proud of their country and their achievements. That is what is happening in this part of the world, which is very encouraging. So I would say that, yes, the youth should work more and more responsible so that the nation can benefit out of them. In the meantime, they will be benefited from the nation as well.